All right, today I'm going to talk about the book Objections. I've been meaning to give my perspective and my summary on this book a while ago. No, I'm not sure exactly when I discovered this book, but the author, Jeb Blount, I read his first book, Fanatical Prospecting, years ago, and I didn't fully understand it. I was reintroduced to this author with this particular book here. And I'm just going to talk about some of the things that I picked up in the book. The book is over 200 pages, so I'm not going to sit here and go through everything, but I wanted to share some key points that I picked up from the book as a real estate professional, a real estate agent, and a real estate investor. I just want to give y'all perspective. So the book starts off, they got a foreword, but the very first chapter of the book, beyond the foreword, chapter 1, asking is the most important discipline in sales. That's the chapter name. And a lot of people have a struggle with asking for things directly. So I want to address that. I want to share some of the things in the book. Asking is the most important discipline in sales. You must ask for what you want directly, assumptively, and assertively, and repeatedly. That's a quote within the book. In sales, asking is everything. If you fail to ask, you'll end up carrying a box full of stuff from your desk to your car on the way to the unemployment line. And in our profession as real estate agents, you'll be out of the business. As a real estate investor, you'll be out of the business. So you won't lose your job. You'll just be out of business because you're afraid to ask. You must ask for business. When you fail to ask, you fail, right? Yes, people say no, but if you never ask, they don't have a chance to say no. The answer is always no if you never ask. And this is a quote that I really love what he said. The truth is like poetry, and most people hate poetry, okay? He tells a lot of truth in his book. I like him because I'm a truth teller. I don't like the sugarcoat. I like straight information. You're not getting what you want because you're not asking for what you want. You must ask clearly and directly. Asking with confidence is one of the most difficult things for humans to do. A lot of times we think it's the real estate or the technical knowledge. It's not that. It's that we lack confidence and we lack the ability to ask. All we have to do is ask sometimes. Here's another part. There's no silver bullet in objection slayer. There's no silver bullet objection slayer. So most people want to know what's the secret to get 100% of my sales together or win all of the time. And there's no secret, right? A lot of people will tell you, like in our group, there's a particular structure and a framework, which we like to call mashed potatoes. We say mashed potatoes because that means it's soft and it's sweet. There's a particular structure around scripting and asking for questions in our group. And these people are afraid to ask directly, and they fail because they're afraid to ask directly. They fail because they think there's a secret to this. There's no secret. It requires work. Okay. Salespeople are obsessed with shortcuts and silver bullets that will miraculously deliver yeses without the risk of rejection. So most people are so afraid of rejection that they never get anything done. They never ask for what it is that they want. They're rejecting themselves. There's no easy button that will close the deal every time. There's no magic fairy dust that will take the sting and the pain out of rejection. There are no silver bullet words that will slay objections and stun prospects into submission, right? Nothing you can say will get the seller to say yes, 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 just because you think you got some secret framework or word. It doesn't work that way. That's business, and we have to face that. The only way to eliminate rejection and objections is to never ask for anything, ever. That's the only way to eliminate objection. To be successful in sales, you must ditch your wishbone and grow a backbone. That's a quote within the book. That's chapter 1. Those are the key things that jumped out for me in that book from chapter 1. Next, I'm going to address chapter 2, how to ask. Asking is the beginning of receiving, and that's a quote by Jerome. 3 keys to asking. Ask with confidence and assume you will get what you want. Okay? I get a lot of flack. Jerome, you are very direct. Yes, I am. Jerome, you are pushy. Yes, I can be. Okay. But I know what I want. People know what I want. I'm clear. I'm concise. And that's how I deliver results. Be prepared to deal with objections. Objections is a natural part of the process. People are going to say no. They're going to say maybe. They're going to squirm around. You have to be prepared to deal with that. And this book helped me understand the importance of that, right? Rather than dancing around. Okay, so here's some other key points. Ask with confidence and assume you will get what you want. Now, when we say assume, that doesn't mean you will get what you want, but you ask with assumption, you communicate those emotions and that authority to the person that you're asking. Okay. Shut up. A lot of people have a problem with this, right? Shut up. Do not be intimidated by silence. Ask for what you want and be quiet. Don't over explain what it is that you're asking for. Okay. And then the third point is be prepared. Be prepared to deal with objections and negotiate. Just be prepared. Objections and rejection, all this stuff is a part of the process. And don't be afraid to be part of that process. Here's something that really jumped out to me. When salespeople demonstrate confidence and act assertively for what they want, whether it's appointments, next steps, buying commitments, prospects say yes 50 to 70% of the time. Conversely, on the other hand, non-assertive, insecure, quote, I don't want to be pushy, sales requests, they get a 10 to 30% success rate compared to when you act assumptively and assertively, right? So which would you rather have, 50 to 70% yeses or 10 to 30% yeses? Go for the 10 to 30% by being assumptive and direct. When you sound and look afraid, when you give off insecure vibe, you transfer that fear to your prospect and you create resistance where it had not previously existed. In a weird paradox, a more passive approach out of concern that people that were concerned with being too pushy, they actually do push people off because they don't trust you. You come off insecure and you transfer those emotions to the people. Okay, that's so true. Like you have to ask with confidence and assertiveness, and people will believe you. It's not all about the technical knowledge, right? Emotions are contagious. Emotional contagion is primarily an automatic subconscious response that causes humans to mirror or mimic the behaviors and emotions of those around them. So if you're calling someone and you're like, maybe we could do this, and I was thinking about maybe possibly, hey, they don't trust you. As a professional, you have to come off assertively and authoritative if you want people to trust you, okay? Those things get transferred onto other people. I'm going to tell a story. She's going to get me if you watch this video. But I have a colleague. Her name is Tiffany. And I was talking to Tiffany. I was like, Tiffany, some days, or I was like, she's strong woman too. So I asked her, I said, Tiffany, are you ready to give up? And I was expecting her to say no. And she was like, Jerome, I give up I'm ready to give up all the time. And when she said that, it defeated me. And the point of me telling that story was because her emotions transferred over to me. I had not felt those emotions in quite a long time. And they transferred because I was interacting with her. She was just having a not great day, which is part of the reason why it was a little surprising, because normally she's crushing it. So I just want you to know, like, we're allowed to have bad days, and just be mindful that emotion is contagious. So if you want to transfer confidence, you be confident, right? If you want the prospect, the client, the customer to be confident in you, you be confident so you can transfer those emotions, okay? Now, the assumptive ask. The mindset manifests itself in your outward body language, voice inflection, tone, and the words you choose. The foundation of the assumptive ask is your belief system and self-talk. So I keep coming across this. I used to hate fluffy, you can do it type of content. But in my experience, I've been working with a lot of people and they do have internal issues. There are things going on within them. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe they can do it. They don't believe they can win. And those things come out into your business. It's so violent. I used to hate that kind of stuff because I'm like, I don't need this. I don't need to be motivated. I don't need to be pumped up. But I didn't need it, but now I understand the importance of it. Because it's not the technical stuff. It's the mental stuff and the internal stuff that people need to know, okay, to have success. Because it's never going to be perfect, right? It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard, but it's worth it. And in order for you to serve and address that, you have to deal with the internal things going within you. So ultra high sales performers believe that they're going to win and are supposed to win. There's nothing you can tell me that's going to make me think that I can't win or I can't get what it is that I'm looking to get. In real estate, in life, talking to women, whatever it is. It's nothing anybody can tell me. And people like to confuse that with arrogance. It's not arrogance. It's just confidence. It's nothing that you can tell me that's going to deter me from the mindset that I will win, regardless of what comes up in my way. I'm a winner, and there's nothing that can sway me from that. And I don't say that with arrogance. I say that with confidence. When asking for what you want, confidence, enthusiasm are the two most persuasive nonverbal messages. When you lack confidence in yourself, sellers, stakeholders, prospects, they tend to lack confidence in you. If you can't be confident in yourself, why would I be confident in you? Right? It's fair. Even if you must fake it because you are shaking in your boots, you must appear relaxed, poised, and confident, because people will see it. They will pick up on it. You don't want that coming out. Okay, it says this begins with managing your nonverbal communication to control what the stakeholder sees, the seller, the client, the prospect, to control what they see and hear consciously. And they also perceive something else subconsciously, right? We have our subconscious mind that runs our bodies and picks up on stuff. So you got that working too. Okay, that's an automatic response in our body. That's something we can't control. So if you're communicating insecurity, the subconscious is going to pick up on that, and it's going to tell your customer, your client, or your prospect, don't trust this person. This person is scared. This person is afraid. This person is not confident. So you have to adjust that. So here are some key factors on addressing your nonverbal communication. Voice tone. Voice tone. Like, your tone can't be shaky. It can't be weak. And in our profession, you can't sound all like high pitched and casual. We're professionals. You must come off as a professional. You can be friendly, but you must be professional when you talk. You can be polite. Okay? They're not looking for friendly. They're looking for professionals and authorities. Inflection. What are you saying, right? Hey, here's an example. Hey, Jerome. That's like, it's weird. It comes off untrustworthy versus, hey, Jerome. That's more calm, relaxed, and it's more authoritative. That's important. You got to watch your tone. Okay, pitch, the cadence, right? You're talking slow. Hey, Jerome, my name is, that's important. Speed and pitch, those things matter, right? That doesn't communicate security and confidence and authority. That doesn't communicate that this person can get something done for me. That communicates weakness. Body language and facial expressions. So my group, they tend to beat me up on this because I make my facial expressions, but I am actually very conscious of the facial expressions that I make because I want to clearly communicate what I'm experiencing. I can hold back when necessary, but I don't like to. I prefer not to. Body language and facial expressions, that's important stuff. Those are important things. And this is probably my favorite of the three, right? There were 3 points. My favorite of the 3 points, the way you dress and your outward appearance absolutely matters. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and being well-dressed sends a powerful message internally and externally, which is why even inside salespeople should dress for confidence, right? I don't care if this is just Zoom and we're after COVID and we're only meeting virtually. You should still act, dress, and play the part confidently because those things matter. I can always tell how much people care about themselves by just their appearance. People absolutely do judge books by the cover, and your appearance is absolutely important, especially as an entrepreneur, a real estate agent, a real estate professional. Okay, some other factors are nonverbal communication. There's a table here in this book, and my book is page 15. It's going to be compare and contrast, right? And we're going to do what demonstrates confidence. We're going to do what demonstrates lack of confidence versus what demonstrates confidence. So demonstrates a lack of confidence, insecurity, and fear. Speaking with a high-pitched tone. That's one of the first things people do. Hello, hey, Jerome, this is blah, blah, blah. Like we call it in our group, we call it cluck, cluck. You sound like a chicken. You're raising your voice too high. That communicates insecurity and fear. You don't need to raise your voice that high. Okay. What's the alternative of that? Speaking with a normal inflection and a deeper tone, a deeper pitch. Okay. Something else, tense and defensive tone of voice. What's the alternative? A friendlier tone, a smile in your voice and on your face. That's the opposite of that, right? You don't want to sound defensive. Okay. What else? Speaking too loudly or too softly. You could go either way, right? You can speak too loudly. Sometimes people yell. Like, what are you yelling for? And sometimes people speak too softly. Those can demonstrate weakness, fear, okay? Appropriate voice modulation with appropriate emotional emphasis. Emotional emphasis, right? That's what I did there. Emotional emphasis on the right words and the right phrases, right? So you see what I did there? Appropriate voice modulation with appropriate emotional emphasis on the right words. Now, if I just read that monotone, it would not have had the same impact. So that matters. Okay. This jumps out to me. We like do Zoom, and I like to tell people to turn their camera on because you can read and you can start to see their body language and you can see certain patterns. Okay. Frail. Okay. No. Yeah, I'm going to go with it. So lack of eye contact, looking away when you're having a conversation, you're talking to people, like looking away, that communicates insecurity. Make eye contact with people. Nothing says I can't be trusted and I'm not confident like poor eye contact. We must be able to make eye contact, make face to face. That communicates I'm confident, I'm secure. Okay. What's the alternative? Direct, appropriate eye contact. When you're talking with someone, look them in the eyes. What else do we have here? We have frail or nervous tone of voice with too many filler words. Saying awkward pauses. It's okay to have some here and there. I communicate that when I'm teaching my video marketing classes, but your entire sentence, your speech, anything you're saying, it can't be full of ums and ahs. That communicates insecurity. Pretty sure I might have said some ums and ahs during this presentation, but I sound very confident in the way that I'm speaking. Right. Here's some other body language stuff. Your head down, your arms crossed, and I gotta admit I struggle with that, but I don't do the arm cross because I'm in fear or anything like that. I just a habit. Okay. What's the alternative? A straight posture, chin up, so shoulder straight and back, right? For example. So for me, as an example, when I'm speaking and I'm addressing someone, I sit up. Okay. When I do the arm fold thing that I just talked about, I'm normally relaxed. I'm relaxed and I'm out of it. But when it's time for me to speak, you'll see me sit up. Like right now, I'm looking directly at the camera. I'm speaking. My chest is up. My chin is out because that matters. It communicates confidence. Okay. Now let's talk about message content. Message content, like the things that you say matter as well. So this is on page 16. Message content. I was just checking in. That's weakness. It communicates weakness. What's the alternative? The reason I'm calling is. The reason for my call is. That's very clear. That's very concise and it's professional. Okay. I was wondering, or I was hoping. That's too casual. It's too casual. Don't say that phrase. What's the alternative? Tell me who. Tell me how. Tell me when. Tell me where. Tell me what. Those are alternatives rather than I was just hoping. I was just wondering, right? Don't be so casual. Be a professional. Next, I have the whole day open. Anytime, whatever works for you. Don't communicate that. That communicates weakness, okay? I'm busy. What's the alternative? I'm busy, but I can make time at 11 a.m. I can make time between 3 and 4. I can make time before 5 and 6, okay? Clear, concise. What's next? I wanted to find out. That communicates weakness. What's the alternative? Who else do we need to include? What other information do we need? How soon can we get started? Rather than I wanted to find out. Okay. Here's another one. What do you think? It's like it's a weakness, and as a professional, you don't want to put that on the other person in that way. So what's the alternative? I'm going to need your signature here. Here's another alternative. Here's what we're going to do. Here's another alternative. Let's do this. All right. Here we go. Objections. We're still in the objections book. Shut up. The hardest part of asking is learning to ask and shut up. Like, be quiet. Jerome, I can make time between 3 and 4 today so I can come out and show you how we can sell this house, and then we can do a marketing plan, and then we can do this and that. That's too much. It communicates insecurity. The way you ask, I have time today at 3 or 4. Which time works for you? You be quiet. You shut up. You let the person respond, and you take it from there. You got to learn how to shut up. It says, after you ask, you must shut up. Let the person talk. Be prepared for objections. When you ask, you are going to get objections. It's an unassailable fact, and your brain knows it. Okay? Don't be afraid of the objections. There's a lot of people trying to dance around objections when they have to do in this business as an entrepreneur, as a professional, in marketing, in real estate. You can't dance around. You got to be direct. That's what people are looking for. Okay? Professionals. All right. So that was chapter 2. That was chapter 2. Chapter 3. I'm going to take a 30-second break and figure out what else I want to address. So let's take a break. Okay, so I just jumped straight to chapter 8 because this video is getting longer than I anticipated, right? And there's a few things that's jumping out in chapter 8. You got to go get the book. If you're in sales, you're in real estate, you're in investing, I highly recommend you get this book because objections it's just a natural part of life. And people are so afraid to be direct and deal with objections or what people might say, how people might respond. So I jumped straight to chapter 8. From the prior chapters. No one can make, there's a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. I think this is highly important because sometimes people like to feel attacked or take on personal stuff. Oh, you did that. Listen, I get attacked all of the time for being direct. People call me all kinds of names. And there's nothing they can say to make me feel bad about what it is that I do. It's nothing they can say to make me feel bad. Okay, so no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. If a person doesn't have your best interest at heart, ignore their information. Okay. Emotions in chapter 8, they're talking about the 7 disruptive emotions. The 7 disruptive emotions are as follow, and you're gonna have to get the book to go into detail about this. Okay. The 7 disruptive emotions are fear. Right? That's probably the number 1 emotion that people got. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to say once I get the appointment. Next is desperation. People can sense that. Remember, right? We're talking about 7 disruptive emotions. Remember that emotions are contagious. So if you're communicating fear, you're spreading that fear over to your customer, your prospect, or the person that's involved. Okay. Desperation. If you're desperate, you're communicating that. Insecurity. If you're insecure, you're communicating that. Need for significance. If you don't feel like enough, you're communicating that. Number 5, attachment. I don't have much to say about that because I don't know too much about it, but you can research it. Number 6, eagerness. You're too eager. Too eager. Eager causes you to become so focused on pleasing other people that you lose sight of your sales objectives, right? Don't become so eager where you lose out. And number 7 is worry. This too much worrying. Worry is the downside of your brain's vigilant crusade to keep you safe and alive. Your brain naturally focuses on the negative, what could go wrong, rather than what could go right. This in and of itself can trigger the fight or flight response and the stream of disruptive emotions that come with it, based solely on the perception that something might go wrong. This leads to paralysis from analyzing every negative possibility and avoidance in the form of procrastination. So I have a colleague, and I want to take a picture and send this to her right now, because that's all she does. What if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if? And it doesn't help you trying to figure out everything and do all of the what ifs. It just communicates that I can't trust you. Okay. Develop self-awareness. We're still in chapter 8. You become rejection proof when you learn to master your emotions. Okay. It's encouraging you to do positive visualization, manage your self-talk, change your physiology. So we often hear like it's good to stand up and do like the Superman pose. It's good to stand up. We make calls. I'm a prospector. I call people to find out if they want to sell their house. And there's a quote that says smile and dial. And there's some validity to it. I think it needs to be clarified. Like smile and dial, because your smile, your language, your tone, all that stuff can come through the phone when you're talking with people. I just want people to be careful not to seem too friendly when they're having conversations or too casual. There's an issue with that. You can be friendly without being like too casual, too relaxed. Okay. In other words, internal emotions may be shaped by your outward physiology. So I've heard this before. I heard people talk about go smile and try to feel sad at the same time. You can't really do it because your body language and all of that stuff matters, right? Like smile and try to feel sad at the same time. It's like, it's hard to do. Okay. So when you're feeling down or you're not in the right mood or something like that, change your physiology, right? You're feeling defeated. Stand up, poke your chest out. Do what you got to do. That physiology matters. Power posing, it's talking about it right here. Power posing, physically standing in a posture of confidence, even when you don't feel confident, impacts testosterone and cortisol levels in the brain, influencing confidence. So just by taking a power pose, Google them if you need to find out some power poses. Google power poses so you can, when you're not feeling right, you need to get in a certain mood, you can implement those power poses and do what you need to do. Okay. Look, keep your chin up. I talked about this earlier. Straighten your shoulders, sit up straight, and you'll feel better. Like all of those things matter. Just like I was talking about a little bit earlier, the way you dress, that absolutely matters. Okay. When you dress your best, this is perfect. I'm on page 74 in the book. When you dress your best, you feel more confident. This is one of the key reasons why, right? He says this is one of the key reasons why he, as the author, wear custom suits on stage when he speaks, right? The way you dress, it matters, right? People say, Jerome, why you always dress like that? Because it matters, because I'm a professional, and because it helps me feel good, okay? I feel great when I get up and I dress up, and that matters. It also in here, it encourages you to stay fit. So let's see. We're going to finish up chapter 8. Here we go. Adversity is your most powerful teacher. So the stuff that we're going through in life, embrace it, lean into it. There are things for us to learn in that adversity. The problem is that it's not so obvious when you are the person suffering from low self-esteem. Okay. Okay. All right. I messed that up. When insecurity consumes you, it is very, very difficult to see the negative impacts. You must know rationally that you just need to get back on the horse, but emotionally, it feels impossible to face the obstacle again. As a corollary, people with higher self-esteem are much more resilient in the face of rejection. Okay, so it gives some tips on how to become rejection proof, and then we'll close it up. To become rejection proof, you must be ready and open to learning and gaining resilience through the crucible of adversity and pain. Like, we want to avoid problems, but that's where all of the growth is. That's where the money is. That's solving problems, you know? You must choose to intentionally face your fear. Obstacle immunity is a choice. Be willing to face fear. You must actively seek out rejection by asking for what you want. You got to go for rejection. I look forward to conflict and confrontation. I look forward to those things because I know there's growth there. I always grow. Like just yesterday, I had a colleague. His name is Bryant. We call him Skanes. And I was asking a woman, her name is Nina. I said, Nina, why are you saying that I am brutally honest? What does that mean? I really wanted to know what she meant by brutal honesty, because I don't believe in this such thing as brutal honesty or tough love. Honesty is just honesty. Love is just love. And Bryant said, I asked her and she said it's brutal because, and I can't remember what she said, but Bryant Skanes, we call him Skanes. Skanes said, Jerome, here's the answer. It's brutal to the ego. Honesty is brutal to the ego, not brutal to the person, to the ego. And that's why they call it brutal honesty. And I learned a lot just by that little thing that he said, brutal to the ego. That's what's going on with most people. Their egos are frail. Their egos are frail. That's tough love. It's not tough love. It's just normal love. That's brutal honesty. It's not brutal honesty. It's just normal honesty. You can't handle it because it's damaging your ego. It's getting you in trouble. Okay. All right, here we go. You must push through a state of cognitive dissonance in which you cope with emotional pain of perceived potential and real objection while fighting the desire to go back to your old state of comfort and delusion. Here we go. Obstacle immunity means having the mental toughness and attention control to reach peak performance while maintaining a positive mindset no matter when adversity presents itself. Adversity is your most powerful and impactful coach. Things that challenge you, change you. Okay, so those are some of the key points I wanted to address from this particular book. This book is an excellent book. I learned a lot from it. Chapter 9 is called Avoiding Objections is Stupid. I'm just going to encourage you to go get the book. I've already been talking for 32 minutes. Go get the book. If you're in sales, you're in real estate, you're in a business, go get this book. It might even work for you as a date. If you want a date, you want a woman, you want a man. This was an excellent and phenomenal book. I give it 10 stars. Inside of my books, inside of Real Estate Success Secrets, this green book here, inside of Real Estate Success Secrets, I have a list of books that I recommend towards the end of the book. And this is one of the books that I recommend because it was so impactful. We just updated this book and we put this book in there as a recommendation because that book is such a great book. So I encourage you to go get the Objections book, but I also encourage you to get my book, Real Estate Success Secrets, if you are interested in succeeding in real estate. I go through, it's a short book. It got some exercises in there where you can implement the suggestions in there and get some success. It's not just a book that you read from cover to cover. It's a book where you go through and you do the exercises within the book, you will get results. So listen, I appreciate you watching and I'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.